everybody. It's Clarissa Burt here. Welcome back to another extraordinary edition of In the Limelight with Clarissa Burt. And today we're going to be talking to an entrepreneur that I think is doing something really extraordinary. I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to name him, and then we're going to talk about all the different things that he's been doing for our youth, for our country, for manufacturing in general, and get a little bit of a backstory as to what he's doing and why. Terry Iverson, there you are. You are the founder of Champion now. And first of all, what an exciting concept. I love what you're doing. And, we'll talk about, why so many kids aren't going to college anymore and why they should be paying attention to you. But you talked about, I saw on your website a little bit of the backstory and how this is sort of the manufacturing industry for you is really a legacy piece as well. So why don't you give us a little backstory before we talk about what you're doing today?
Well, Clarissa, first of all, thanks for having me on. And legacy, my grandfather started in the industry 100 years ago this year.
Wow.
And he started in the machine tool sector. I believe he was 16, thereabouts, when he started. I think he had to quit high school to support his brothers, sisters.
That was the way. Yep.
And then my dad followed in 1958, the year before I was born.
Oh, we were born the same year, you and I then.
Yeah, I was 19. Yep. And then I started in 1980. And so I've just celebrated my 45th year. And about 2012, I started down this path of inspiring the next generation for manufacturing, because we don't have enough. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough energy. We don't have enough youth.
Right. So that's where the pain point was. And I guess the idea also of, I think there was a moment where they wanted to forgive all of the student loans. And kids are going, why are we even going to college? Does it really help us? Do we really need it? We're strapped with so much debt. By the time we get out, is it really worth it? And to that, you said, hold on a second, I've got an idea for you.
Yeah, I mean, student debt, I'm very much against. I come from the Chicago area. We're very conservative people. We don't believe in going into debt to accomplish things. But our industry as a whole are willing to pay for skills and pay for education and pay for training. And it's not that people are making a conscious decision, I'm not going to do that. If that's the case, then that's okay. They don't even know it's out there. They have no idea.
Yeah. I know you're around the country doing a lot of talking, a lot of speaking to not only to the students, but parents, grandparents, other administrators, people that are around these kids to sort of maybe potentially prod them or strongly suggest that they move into the manufacturing industry. You also have written 2 books. You're the author of Inspiring Champions in Advanced Manufacturing, when you focus on addressing students and parents, as I said before. And then there's the Finding America's Greatest Champion, which I believe you also have Camp Champ, which is really fun. So that must be a blast. I can only think about how fun that must be. Tell us about that.
About Camp Champ? Yeah, Camp Champ, we invite about 24, we do 2 camps in a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And we have 6 stations, and we have middle schoolers, 4 at each station, mentored by high school CTE or manufacturing students.
Right.
And so mentoring's a big thing for me. I've mentored hundreds of young people, maybe more. I was a travel soccer coach, and I believe informing and educating young people about life and how to be responsible, accountable adults. Yeah. And so that mentoring component adds a new twist. And a lot of people are telling me that could be the source of our future CTE education teachers, which is a win.
Absolutely. I think it brings to mind, and I'm sure you've seen this before too, where there's a football field, and on this side, there are all the seniors, and on this side, there are all the kindergartners. And they all meet at the 50-yard line because these are all kids that want to play, sports in some way, shape, or form. It is such a touching moment. It kind of brings a little sniffle to you. It's like, oh, that's so sweet that these, that the older kids want to help mentor the younger kids. I think that's really extraordinary that they would, take the time to do that. Must be very touching.
Absolutely. And it's very inspiring to, by the time I start, every 100 young people that I start with in middle school, maybe
Yeah.
7 or 8 have any inclination of what's manufacturing. And then by the end, almost 50% of them, so a huge gain, are
Yeah.
like, this is really cool.
It's
What
really
is
cool.
this?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a great point. What is manufacturing, and are there certain sectors or categories that you are more propense to than others?
Well, I come from the metalworking industry, and manufacturing is so broad, Clarissa. There's food manufacturing, there's aerospace, there's retail, retail goods. There's just so many things. Even things that are grown in this country is manufacturing in some fashion. But I think there's so much that can appeal. And what people don't realize is, what? We have people in the legal profession that are in manufacturing. We have accounting people. We have salespeople. We have administrators. We have HR executives. So there's so many facets of manufacturing that touch all our lives, not to mention all the products we use every day.
Right, exactly. What about, let's get back to I glissed over your 2 books. Can we talk about what one might be inspired by if they're picking up one of your 2 books?
Well, the first book was Finding America's Greatest Champion. And Clarissa, what I tried to propagate in my message is that manufacturing is our greatest champion. And if we don't know about it, then that's a miss for all of us. And then I wrote it during the Me Too movement. So I really, took a pause and said, look, where is the female gender in manufacturing? There's far too few women in manufacturing, and we can't ignore that. We need to acknowledge the Rosie the Riveters during the World War that really came to play, so to speak, and really showed up when our country needed them most. And so anyway, I address students, parents, but educators and industry as well. And then the second book was a couple of years ago that it came out, and it's Inspiring Champions in Advanced Manufacturing. And the subtitle on both, I should have mentioned the subtitle on the previous one, but Discovering the Path to a Debt-Free Career is the second Inspiring Champions book. And it's a 2-sided book. So it has 2 covers that are inverted to each other. One's for the parent, one's for the student. And they read into the middle where they'll find questions for each. And some are the same stories. I interview probably 50 plus people in each book. Some are the same stories, and some are different stories that they can tell about, or ask about to each other.
What about the trade schools? Are you involved with them in any way? Are you, you sort of, how does that? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the trade schools, the technical colleges, and the different trades, manufacturing based and otherwise, are critical because their cost of education. In both books, I do an analysis of what I call return on education, where the cost of a technical education is so much lower and so much shorter, and the cost of 4 or 5 year degrees in the universities and colleges have become almost unsustainable and not relevant to what the market needs today. So technical colleges, I try to get them involved in a lot of the camps. I try to have the camps as a farm system where we have middle school, high school that join to each other. Technical colleges in the community for the high school, and industry members, all so that we have basically a farm system.
And Camp Champ, is that once a year? Is that itinerant? How does that work? How does that play out? If somebody wants to get with you and be considered for camp.
Well, Camp Champ, we offer the camps as kits, so people can buy the kit and they can do their own camp.
Nice. I didn't know that. Okay. I
can mentor them to start their own camp. I think in the last 3 years, we've done approximately 6 camps per year. And it's, it's a lot of, as usual, a lot of it is about funding and getting financial support.
Yes.
Most of Champion now, I've done a lot of the financial heavy lifting myself. So going into 2026, that's something I have to change, and I have to be more responsible to make sure that we get more financial partners.
Right.
And that's a big part of it. But I do expect, my long-term goal, Clarissa, is to have a camp in every major metropolitan manufacturing sector, and to reach those students. The second book, I really talked about the racial awakening and how we don't have enough people of color either in our industry.
Right.
And these are people that need the good paying jobs that just simply don't know about it. And it can literally change their lives.
And that's something really strong to underline. I think that most people don't understand just how well the trades are paid and how difficult it is to find a plumber, an electrician, all the things. I mean, again, out here in Arizona, we exploded. I live in Maricopa County, which is the #1 county in the United States in terms of growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible, to find. And the pricing has tripled in the last 4 or 5 years if you do call someone. So I think that's really important. I think a lot of people have underestimated trades, or they did for a very, very long time. And I love that factor. I love that you're doing, putting a highlight on the trades, and they're really, I think they're really, it's a cool way to go.
Well, in Europe, the culture in Europe has stayed very consistent for many years. They hold tradespeople, whether it be plumbers, electricians, technicians, or machinists, or my metalworking industry that I talk about as much, but they hold them in very high regard. And somewhere along the way, we started to think of those people that are that skilled and that talented as something less, and that's not the case.
Right. Yeah, I think that blue collar definitely got a bad rap there for a while. It's kind of, I get that. I lived in New Jersey for a while, so we were always being bashed as a state. So, okay. So what's next? Again, I think you touch upon what's next for you, what your vision is, and how are you getting the word out? How do the kids find out about you? How do they come to know you?
Well, they come to know me through primarily the website. I have a very active LinkedIn feed. I think you alluded to that possibly. Mm-hmm. But championnow.org, I'm constantly updating the website, and I need to update it more. Right. But I have been very blessed to meet people like yourself and other podcasters that have shown interest. I try to elevate a lot in both books and in my speaking, in my podcasting. I try to elevate people that are doing things that other younger people can replicate, or that can model after. It was General Motors and Ford both in recent years have said for the first time that they're not requiring 4-year degrees for every single profession and every single career that they offer. So when the two of the largest manufacturers in our country make that statement, I think mom and dads need to realize, well, maybe there's something to this. Yeah. Maybe we don't have to, we need to look at our young people and say, what are they passionate about? What are they good at? What do they love to do? Right. And in many cases, that may not be your prototypical career set that we most commonly gravitate towards.
Right. You touch upon funding there for a second. Let's get back to that. So funding, are you looking for private sector sponsorization? Can you go to state or potentially even federal funding?
Well, one thing I don't do, I know what I do well. All of us should know what we do well and what we don't do well. And I've kind of put the financial burden on my back so that over the last 12 years that I can get all these products laid out and for people to appreciate and use. Right. But funding, definitely grants. That's something I have to do a better job in 2026 is grants, because I'm literally prototypically what the government's looking for as far as a vision. But then there's also foundations. There's also the private sector. There's a lot of industry that's already involved in funding and giving philanthropically to organizations. They simply just don't know about our camp and all the different things that we try to do at Champion Now. Right.
So moving forward, what would be, you basically have to clone yourself is what you're telling me.
I need to build out the organization. I've done a real good job at building out the products, the vision, and the passion that I exude or try to.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I do have to, I've been fairly proficient at volunteer accumulation and getting people involved. Yeah. Hopefully, I hope to get, more of a staff, because I'm pretty much the staff. And so, small business people and entrepreneurs, they understand, but I think we need the General Electrics that are very involved in this to jump in, a lot of the aerospace companies, a lot of the automotive companies.
Yeah.
So I need to do a better job at reaching out to those
Are there any
large.
trade shows? It comes to mind trade shows that you might be able to
Mhm.
find your target market there.
One of the things that in your part of this, I've been doing a really good job at preaching to the choir. And unfortunately, there's a lot of the people that need to know about this. They're not even in the church. So that's what I need to do is I need to get to different audiences. And, spoke years ago to parents at an event at a technical college. And one mom came up to me in tears after I spoke.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I say? And she goes, no, these are tears of joy. And I'm like, okay. She goes, you basically told me when I thought I had failed my child that I have not and that there's hope.
Oh.
And I said, wow, you're giving me goosebumps by saying that, but your son's here, he's healthy, he's paying attention, and you got him here to begin with. I think you did your job. I think we just need to do better as an industry and let you know what's available.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think it's just a really tough time to be a kid anyway. Certainly these aren't, we grew up completely differently, obviously. And then with the event of the internet and obviously with social and now ChatGPT, I mean, I don't know, it's a lot to navigate for young minds, I think. But it's just a lot to navigate. It's a lot for me and, for these young kids with, it's interesting, Terry, and it's just a quick sidebar. I mean, I'll drive out of the development before the school buses come, and there might be 12, 15 kids standing there, all separate, all on their devices, not interacting, not speaking to one another, not, I mean, I remember when I was at the bus stop, I mean, we were rowdy, we're having a blast. It was a great day. It was a new day. It's not like that anymore. And I know that they're ingesting information that is far too advanced for some of their minds. And so there you go. I'm so glad that you're doing what you're doing. Let me ask you this. Have I not asked a question that you would like our audience to know about?
I think it's more of a statement that I'll say to moms and dads is that, our young people, I'll go to your point, the young people on their devices, there's I think 3 billion gamers in our world, okay, which I never knew. And in the research on my last book, I made a correlation between gaming and all the digital technology that these young people have, right, and the digital manufacturing, the digital twin that exists, replicating manufacturing processes and being able to predict things. Mm-hmm. There's a natural tie between the gaming community and the digital technology with today's manufacturing. Mm-hmm. So I think the message is manufacturing's not your dad's, your father's, or your grandfather's manufacturing, or mother's or grandmother's for that matter. Right. And the internet has a lot of good. And I tell young people that you really don't have an excuse. It's a matter of us getting the message. Look up manufacturing, do your research. It's all online. You can learn as much as you want to learn.
And some of it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's really cool stuff.
It is. Most of the young people, once they know about it, they are blown away and they gravitate to making things. And that's the other thing is there's a lot of making communities in our country, and give it a shot, give it a chance.
Absolutely. The last question that I ask on every podcast is this. You might have already told me, but I'll ask it anyway.
Okay.
In all of this, what would you say that up until now has been your crowning moment?
What has been my crowning moment? Oh my gosh. I think my crowning moment was leading my company for the 45 years that I did. And being able to mentor all the different employees that we hired and young people that came into our company, getting many of them to 45 years of retirement. But I think my crowning moment with Champion Now and with the mission that I'm on has yet to come.
Okay, that's fair. And I'll accept that. I think that's fair. I think you do have a lot of work ahead of you, a lot of great work ahead of you, and some really satisfying moments for sure. I'm going to thank you for your time, sir. It's been very nice to talk to you. Got lots of luck to you and Champion Now moving forward. I'm going to ask you to stay right there while I say goodbye to our audience. And until the next time, everybody, be well. Thanks for listening to this episode of the In the Limelight podcast, intelligent media for the savvy entrepreneur. You can listen to this and all of my podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Pandora, and Inspired News Radio. You'll find all of my videos and the In the Limelight digital magazine on clarissaburt.com. And don't forget to connect with me on social pretty much anywhere. Stay well until we meet again in the Limelight.
Very good.
Is it stopping? And the record. Hold on a second. They changed some. They play outro and recording. Thanks for listening to this episode of the In the Limelight podcast, intelligent media for the